What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. I firstly just want to apologize. This video is coming out a little bit later than normal, but they should all be back on track tomorrow. But what I'm going to be talking about today is my ultimate goals. If I was the general manager, if I was EDC, what I would do this offseason. Now, I'm not going to be like taking it to the extreme and be like, oh, let's just fire Greg Roman. Let's just do it. Like, this is more of a relatively realistic thing that doesn't have to do with hiring. It just has to do with positions, drafting, and what they should do. Now, as always, these are my opinions. Not everybody has to have the same opinions. I would absolutely love to hear your opinions on what the Ravens should do, maybe about one of these subjects, or, talk about all of them. I love to see the differing opinions. I love talking with people in recent videos. Been some great comments, and I've been talking with people in them. So, let me know what you think. Hit subscribe if you want to see daily Ravens content, and hit the like button, if you enjoyed. And just to let people know, I'm looking off to the right, so I don't actually forget what I'm trying to say. So first topic has to be wide receiver. I think this is the biggest topic on almost every Ravens fan mind. Who are they going to sign? What should they do? Do they go after wide receiver 1? Do they go after, a solid wide receiver 2? Do they draft somebody? Looking at the wide receiver 1, they could go after it. But in my opinion, they do not need a wide receiver 1. Maybe I'm just, a dreamer, but I believe that Marquise Hollywood Brown is still a wide receiver 1, has the ability, as long as he's given the opportunity, he can absolutely be a wide receiver 1. He just hasn't been really given that opportunity. So signing a wide receiver 1 would almost be, in my opinion, a waste of money. So don't sign a wide receiver 1. Now you can look at it from the side of sign a wide receiver 2, right? To go alongside Hollywood could be great, whether it's a Marvin Jones, a Corey Davis, one of those guys. I still don't like it. For me, I love the young guys. I'm a big supporter of Devin Duvernay. I loved him last year, loved what I saw. I think he could be great. And, if they bring in a wide receiver 2, that's going to take away the snaps of a Duvernay, of a Prochet. And that's not something that I want. I want those guys to be able to step into a new role and flourish with T. Martin, helping them along. And so that comes to the third thing, draft a wide receiver. That's what I'm all in on. Draft your wide receiver with your first pick. Right now it would be a late first round pick. My ideal choice would be Bateman, but I just want them to draft a wide receiver and I will be significantly happier. I will also be having videos about every single potential wide receiver the Ravens could be drafting, what I think about them, a little bit of film review and stuff like that, but that'll come much more closer to the draft. So stay tuned for all that type of stuff. But for me, drafting a wide receiver is the best way to do it, and doing it early. Don't be like, last year, obviously, they drafted Duvernay, third rounder, Prochet, fifth rounder. That's great. But you want to draft somebody in day 1 because they'll be able to step in and hopefully be ready to play from day 1, because it took weeks before we even got to see, guys actually be on the field. We saw Duvernay in random, end arounds and reverses, things like that. But actually on the field catching passes took probably 4 or 5 weeks before he could even step onto the field. So draft day 1 pick. That's the wide receivers. Next up, Orlando Brown. We got to talk about it. What should we do with Orlando Brown? You can keep him, let him walk, or you can trade him. I'm all in on the trade. The Ravens have come out and, rumors have said that the Ravens are looking for a first round pick. And for me, that the first round pick isn't necessary for the Ravens to pull off this trade. For me, my ideal trade scenario would be to trade Josh Allen and the Ravens first round pick for Josh Allen. Trade Orlando Brown and the Ravens first round pick for Josh Allen and Jacksonville's second round pick. Now, Jacksonville's second round pick is the 33rd overall pick. So it's the first day 2 pick. And I would even be willing to give the Ravens second round pick in this deal. I don't think it would be necessary, but I would be willing to give it because I just love Josh Allen. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he would dominate in the Ravens defense. Very solid, very young edge rusher coming into his 3rd year in the NFL. So I think that would be the best move because it also helps the edge rusher problem. And you get a really solid pick. And if it's 33 and they keep, the later second round pick, potentially they could use those, package them, trade up a little bit. I don't think it's completely necessary, but that's what I want from that trade right there. So, if we have 33, I want Bateman, package 33 with 58, boom, move up to, 25 or whatever. boom, you can take Bateman. Or if the Ravens have another wide receiver, like I said, I'll get into all the wide receivers. But that's my ideal trade for Orlando Brown. Boom. Get Josh Allen and that 33rd overall pick. Next, right tackle, because we lost Orlando Brown. For me, it's sign Rick Wagner. I think Rick Wagner, the Ravens have a history of bringing in former draft picks that they had that they ended up letting walk. And then they bring them back later. Pernell McPhee is a great example. And while it may happen more on defense, I think he would just fit in the offense. He's a solid right tackle, played in Green Bay, which is a heavy run system. And I think he'd be able to come in. Now, whether or not he continues playing is, a question mark. But if possible, bring in Rick Wagner. I think that would be the best replacement. Knows the Ravens organization, knows John Harbaugh. So I think that would be a good fit. Next, center. For me, the center position, a lot of Ravens fans are tweeting, making videos, talking about it. They want Corey Linsley. Corey Linsley is a very good center. He's 32 years old. That's not where I want to go. Corey Linsley is going to make a ton of money. He was like the #1 graded center last year. He was a beast. The Packers' offensive line dominated everybody. I think he's going to get too much money. Not somebody that I really want to go after. The guy that I actually want is Alex Mack. Now, Alex Mack, I brought up Corey Linsley's, old. He's 32. Alex Mack is 36. But if you remember, the Ravens' center issues weren't the fact that they couldn't block. That wasn't the issue. The issue was they couldn't snap the ball, and that's something Alex Mack can do. Greg Roman is able to design run schemes that are able, in your offensive line into favorable positions to help them out. And obviously having Lamar Jackson helps, but if they have a young center that they end up drafting later, I don't think that they'll go after a Creed Humphrey, but if they drafted a center, in the later rounds, having them sit behind Alex Mack would be a phenomenal learning experience for them to be able to come in. And he would bring a veteran presence to the Ravens offensive line. And he's been in the AFC North. So whether or not he would actually come to the Ravens after, being a Brown for so long, and then obviously he was a Falcon, I don't know. But I think that would be my ideal option at the center position. Next, we're looking at edge rusher. Now, I kind of already brought up the trade for Josh Allen. Not going to talk about that right now. Looking at Yannick and Judon. Let them both go. Let Judon go, especially because you get that 3rd round comp pick. So you let them go. You bring back Tyus Bowser. I have a video up on the channel, talking about what all of them bring. So go check that out if you're interested on my exact thoughts on all of them. But I think Bowser fits what the Ravens want to do best. And then I want the Ravens to go sign Jadeveon Clowney. I think Jadeveon Clowney, while he may not be some proficient pass rusher, that's not something that he's going to bring you. What he's going to bring is maybe the best athleticism at the outside linebacker position ever. His athleticism, it's unmatched. And if you put that in a Wink Martindale system, I think it would utterly dominate everybody that the Ravens have to go against. Because, when you throw Judon in coverage, it's not a good sign whatsoever because he's slow, can't keep up. If you throw Clowney in coverage, is he going to just clamp down every wide receiver? No. But he can at least be athletic enough to make some plays. We see it with Tyus Bowser. He's nowhere near as athletic as Clowney. But Bowser's able to make plays for the Ravens on the outside because he's athletic. Clowney's the perfect athletic guy. His spot track value is at about $6.5 million. Whether or not he'd take it, I do not know. But I think signing a multi-year contract to Jadeveon Clowney would be, what I would want in the edge rusher position. And then the final, kind of position topic to talk about is safety. Now, I did a video on Malik Hooker. I think Malik Hooker would be a great bring for the Ravens. However, the Ravens, I have them spending some money on, Tyus, bringing him back. You got to extend Lamar. So for me, I don't want to bring in Malik Hooker. I would love it if they did. If they were able to get the money to work, but I didn't want to just say, just sign everybody because the contract situations, the money wouldn't work. So for me, I would rather have Jadeveon Clowney and Alex Mack over having, a Malik Hooker. So for me, I have the Ravens drafting a ball hawking safety in the later 2nd day or early 3rd day picks, earlier than when they took Geno Stone last year. I think that they will take somebody to come in and try and play, the prototypical Ed Reed role, and allow Chuck Clark and Deshaun Elliott to be able to actually play in the box, hit everybody, and make big plays. So for me, that's all I got in terms of what I want. Now, once again, I'll go through the topics if you want to comment your ideas down below. Wide receiver, what should we do with Orlando Brown? Right tackle position, what should we do at center? How do we deal with edge rusher? And what about the safety position? I gave my thoughts. I want to hear yours in the comment section down below. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. Once again, sorry for the late upload, but thanks everybody. I'll see you all again tomorrow.